talk about this team and what will you be looking for from this point on to add? I'm talking about replacing Dempsey, number one.
Well, what we're looking for from the team is to be as focused on today as we have been. I think in the first few days that I've been here, the only thing I've heard out of players and staff is that sort of a relentless focus on today, what we have to get done today. And that's what we need to be about. We need to be about making sure we do everything we can to give ourselves a chance to be the best we can. And we won't worry about outcomes or that kind of thing. We'll let that take care of itself. So from a team standpoint, that's what I'm looking for. That's what we're all looking for. And so far, that's exactly what we've seen. As far as the roster is concerned, I mean, we're always looking to find ways to add depth to, you know, we want to build a roster that's as deep in as many areas as possible. So we're all sort of on the lookout to do that, and we hope to be closer on something. I don't know anything to announce today, but we've made a little progress on something.
What's the status of Stephen?
We're just right now, as far as the position player group, we're focused on the guys that are here. We've got infielders here in camp who are into their workouts and getting ready to play games, and we have a lot of faith in those infielders. So.
But is there a positional area where you think you might be a little thin depth-wise?
You know, overall we feel pretty good. You know, I think we'll use spring training to, as we always would, we'll use spring training to canvass, you know, every other team's camp, and you know, there's been an interest this winter in acquiring some additional infield depth. We've done some of that, but you know, we at least have an open mind there. So we'll just have to get it. My guess is that that's a spring training thing, and maybe that nothing happens. But more generally, we'll do what we do every year, and that is we have scouts in every camp. We're looking at guys. We know who is more likely to be available, and we'll scout those guys and see if anything makes sense.
Ben, how would you describe the difference in your perspective sitting here today as opposed to sitting here?
I mean, believe it or not, it's really not that different. Obviously, it feels good to have accomplished something, but we're not talking about last year. There's no mention of it inside the clubhouse, other than when we're asked about it. And so our focus is simply to get back to the things that allowed us to be good. You know, John's talked about it at length. The players talk about it. We're going to chase winning. We're going to chase the process. We're going to be the best prepared team. We're going to focus on today. It may not be as interesting to read about or talk about, but that's what we believe makes us good. So that's what we're going to focus on. And from my perspective, I don't feel any different. I mean, that's what we were talking about last year. That's what I was focused on. So every year brings new challenges. Obviously, you're looking at different things, different parts of the team. You're waiting for things to come together. I think spring training and really this year, you know, there's an interest around the group of young players we have in camp because we're all interested to see them take the next step in their development. That happens in spring training. It can happen during the season. We know how important it is for our organization for that to happen, and so that's been a conversation that's been going on all winter and certainly already this spring. And we're really fortunate that our major league staff is such a development-focused staff. They all come from a development background. That we can get a team ready to play in spring training, and obviously we have veteran players who are just getting ready for a season. But we can also do a lot of teaching, and that's going on now, and that's exciting to see.
How much of the challenge is it to develop those young guys? How do you determine whether or not in this certain position you should bring them better? You know what I mean?
You know, sometimes you just have to read and react. You know, I think we first of all we start with the commitment to being good every year, and we're absolutely committed to being as good as we possibly can be in 2014. And if there's any threat to that, or if there's any threat that looks like it's coming on the horizon that could get in the way of that, address that. But we feel very good about the talent that we have. We think the talent sort of pool in camp in total is as strong as it's been, and you know, we just have to see. We'll have to see how spring training goes. Every year brings challenges. You don't know at the end of February what needs you're going to have, and what parts of the team will need additions between now and August or September. So it's up to us to be sort of ready to react to those things as they come.